Hey, how's it going, guys? Ancient Rune here, back with another Wonderlands build video, and today we are going over the Chaos 100 update for Beyblade. Now, before, this was a Ghostblade build that used alchemical agent, but I didn't really like it that much, and it's very, very strong and still is, but I didn't like that Ghostblade wasn't active that much. So instead, I went to Blood of the Fallen. Now, it won't be as strong, but it is up more often. And so I wasn't going to update the alchemical agent version, so I just decided to do this be a change instead of a whole different build. For doing the old version, which works perfectly fine still, you want just kind of more status effect damage, like on the amulet, and then status effect damage from your not your myth rank, your hero points. And that's really all that's different. You could maybe go third instead of a barber load. I'd probably still go barber load. You just have less Ghostblade, which I didn't really like because I played the Ghostblade build to use Ghostblade. Even though it's weaker, it's still a lot of fun. But yeah, the save file will be in the Discord, and if you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, this build is very fun and definitely a very enjoyable one. If you like Ghostblade, this build is for you. Alright, and for the gear here, first we use a Fear Not, the guns with wings with the melee bolts. We want to go ×2, and you use spellcast melee. This is very nice to have. Just because you get bolts applied, and then it procs barber load, and then you don't really have to be aiming. What's also really nice is that with fast swinging weapons, these will be shooting while you're swinging, compared to a scalawag. You can still use a scalawag here because it does have the melee blade, but what I like to do is I like to throw Fear Nots and then swap to a live wire. And that's very, very nice and works very well. That's my go-to way because live wire is just more damage. And because we don't have alchemical agent, we have to make up damage somewhere. And our physical melee is more of the way for bossing on this field compared to alchemical agent Ghostblade. Then we have a Tooth Raider. This is for bossing or just really tanky enemies. Like those big trolls can definitely be tanky sometimes. This really helps a lot for bossing, and this is a go-to. This is a quest reward. It's very easy to get. The parts are fixed. It doesn't matter. You just need to apply bolts. You don't even need an enchant on it because you swap away to something else afterwards. And then we have a Stabbomancer for some ranged enemies if you need it. Usually you don't, but it's there. You could also hold a Rapscallion or a Kobold or a Spriggan. These all have a 40% melee. This is also very nice, just for more damage, and when you hold it, all your melee gets it. It won't be as strong as these two combos, but if you get it, it'll be nice. Here we use a pickaxe. You want the 21% crit or the 19% crit, whatever you can get, because 21% crit is very rare to have. Even though we're not using a chemical agent, it's still critting is more damage. So it's definitely worth doing that. Here we have it with Ancient because we want to get our Ghostblade as fast as possible. Now we do have Blood of the Fallen, so Ancient isn't necessary, but I like getting it as fast as possible, and this helps a lot. Warrior would probably be whatever the other thing I'd use, or you could use Vampire for survivability. But I don't really find survivability an issue here. And then we go with the consecutive melee because after we hit enemies with our melee weapon, it will boost Ghostblade, which is very strong. Here we have a body rune. This is for survivability mainly because here we're using soaked. But it is very nice, and there is an option not to use soaked here. So that would just give the fire bonus element more damage there, which would be nice. We go spellcast all damage just because it's very nice to have. Here we have barber load. This is because Ghostblade usually stays in one place. and then you have to move it around. So this kind of helps it bring out their damage more, and so you have to like move your Ghostblade less and having a bigger chance of running out of Ghostblade. Now you want to go Stabbomancer power because this will boost Ghostblade damage, and we go lightning damage to match our element of our pickaxe. Element doesn't matter. Of course, if you use soak, you want lightning or frost. I prefer lightning because flesh bar is also a very common one, very common health bar, and having a frost kind of hurts that. It doesn't matter too much, but that's just why I like to use Golem Pickaxe with the lightning, just because it's more neutral. Of course, if you hit a like boss with like armor, then you will want to use either frost or corrosive, but it just really matters. It just matters on what you're doing. Yeah, and so lightning power, the element power, just match it with your pickaxe. Double all damage, just because we don't need status effect damage. We do use an amnesia, so it is less worth it, but it's all we have to use. That's the same with spellcast enchants here. All damage is definitely not worth it here, but the action skill start is also not worth it because we have Ghostblade up and on cooldown together longer than 20 seconds most of the time. So if you want burst damage, you can go action skill start melee, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then we have a tiebreaker. This is for soak. You could also use a fortifying sigil or an empowering sigil. Empowering sigil will freeze enemies, giving it a strong bonus, but I would use soak instead. And this is very nice for a spell spam as well. You don't need it most of the time, but for tanky enemies, it's definitely worth it. You can line this up to hit multiple enemies. You want at least to have like one spell charge. 2 spell charges can be nice. And just the spell charge part, that's what I mean by that. And then you want cooldown rate. I think radius would be nice as well, just because that might widen the wave. Not actually sure about that, but really you want spell charges and cooldown. Cooldown really helps with spamming it, which is really nice. And then you go to the Ghostblade enchant because it gives melee crit damage and crit chance, which is very nice for getting that 100% Ghostblade without giving up too much crit chance. And then here we go, selective amnesia. You want the Stabbomancer Brrzerker. This is because it will give stab power in primary, and also has really good skills. Haste is really nice because it gives more swing speed, but also gives move speed for amnesia. And then Cold Snap will give frost efficiency, which helps for freezing some enemies. And then the move speed will also go into amnesia. And then for the passives, we go melee damage, move speed, and melee crit chance. Move speed for amnesia, melee crit chance to get higher crit chance, of course. And then melee damage because Ghostblade's melee damage. It does not get area damage or ability damage. Keep that in mind. So that's why we don't have any of those bonuses there. And then we go thumb cuffs just because they're the easiest one. But anything will work here for rings, just whatever you can get with good passive. Here we go, melee damage, and then melee crit damage. Crit chance is really nice. I also really like action skill duration, so Ghostblade is out more. Just something I like, but those are the 3 passives I would say. You could get action skill cooldown. That'd be nice if you can't get an ancient pickaxe, but definitely like the lowest priority for that. And then here for the skill tree, of course, we use Ghostblade. And then we go haste for the move speed and swing speed. Then we go put in poisons. It doesn't help much, but it's better than arsenal. And then for getting down the tree, better than swift death and follow up. And then here we go exploit their weakness. So this does help exploit their weakness, and that's the main reason we go it. Just has it last longer. And then we go nimble fingers here. This is for the fire rate for the Fear Notch, so you get multiplied faster. It's something I like, but you definitely don't need. It uses 2 points here and then 3 here, which you could throw into here. I would probably throw it in either max savagery and 2 ancestral frost or 5 ancestral frost, This won't do too much for damage, but it will boost blast chill, which is pretty nice, and I like it for that. We don't need Shadow Step because we're swinging so fast that we're never going to have Shadow Step active much. And then Elusive isn't needed at all, so we don't go down there. So we just overspec, and here we go to Savagery and then 3 on Yielding. And Yielding is very strong, especially for Amnesia. The old ways for conditional damage. Icebreaker is very nice, and just a pure damage molt. We go Instinct because we're reloading and swapping weapons so much. This will be really useful. We go 3 Cold Snap. The other 2 are from our armor. This is Move Speed for Amnesia, and then Frost Efficiency for Freezing. On our defense, great survivability, good boost. Blood Frenzy for getting our health back. The Enrage timer is nice, but we usually have Ghostblade back in time, but it doesn't matter. And then Relentless Rage for survivability. Blast Chill for damage. Iron Squall, we go max just for more swing speed. And then Blood of the Fallen for getting back. If you didn't know, Iron Skull gets your melee swing speed, so that's why we go so much in it. It is unfortunate giving some swing speed up for crit chance, but the crit chance is definitely worth it. And also, if you had that 1.9% attack speed, you would not be able to max Iron Skull. So if you do get one of those, which will still work for this build, you'll have to put these Iron Skull points, at least less of them, somewhere else. Probably Savagery. You could go 5 Savagery, 2 Iron Skull, and that would probably work fine. It just kind of breaks. It does like a thing where it just stops swinging, and it's very annoying. That's also why we don't go Rage Handle. As you see, I did try Rage Handle, and it was nice, but it's very inconsistent and has low peaks, especially if you're just using Ghostblade and not actually swinging. Then it's worse than using a pickaxe. And then here for our hero points, we go full Stabbomancer power, you see. And then we go max crit damage since we're always critting. And then we go the rest into max HP on ward for survivability, and the rest into spam into spell cooldown to spam our Tidebreaker more, which is very useful. And then I'll do a reminder or refresher for if you wanted to go the Alchemical Agent version, which I talked about in the intro. You would replace this all damage with status effect damage, and then you would go either the spell cooldown or the max HP and ward points into status effect damage here. That's pretty much all that's different, of course, besides the skill tree. I hope you guys enjoyed the build video. I know it's completely different and reworked, but that's just kind of how it is. I still like it, and it's very fun, and this is, if you like Ghostblade, Ghostblade should always be up. So yeah, that's why I use it like this now, and I wasn't going to update the old Beyblade, because I don't like not having it up all the time. It just feels like a regular melee build with Ghostblade on the side, which is not what I preferred. So yeah, I went this way. Again, I will have the spec down below, just so people can see it like that through the Loot Lemon link. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.